Let's go, team. Friday night coming to you live with mistakes I made when I was trying to lose weight. It wasn't intentional, obviously, but when I look back on it and think about my journey, I often say my journey and like my post today started with my leg break, but actually I tried to lose weight before then, unsuccessfully, and I just want to go over some of the things I did back then, and kind of learnings I've had in terms of the weight loss mistakes. I mean, I was never into fad diets per se, but just some of the things that I tried to do around weight loss. Some might make you laugh. And some you might be like, yeah, that's me too. So hashtag replay if you catch on the replay. And I know lots of you guys are not necessarily comfortable with putting your questions and comments out there in public. I get it. I used to be there myself. So, my DMs are open. Lots of you come in the DMs. But just in case you're one of the people who are like, oh, I want to ask her something, but I don't want to put it like out in the public forum. And then, my DMs are open. So, not an issue. All right. I know it's Friday night and it's bank holiday weekend. Value, just so to share my learnings to help you on your journey to health, fitness, weight loss, whatever it is you want to do. And as I mentioned last night on my live, for me, weight loss was an outcome of the fitness journey I went on. If you've seen my post earlier today, if not, go and check it out in terms of how I lost weight. And it summarizes some of the things I did. But I wanted to cover off some mistakes I made before I got to that place, just to help you guys realize that there is a way to do it and it doesn't involve the fads, the weight loss injections, fat freezing, and all these things. All right, so what was my number one mistake? I think my number one mistake was thinking that I could lose weight by just exercising. So I used to get the Davina DVDs. Yes, that's how old I am. Get the Davina DVDs and work out at home. And I remember, oh my God, burpees are awful. Who invented these? Like struggling to even do one burpee. I know if you know me, you know I love burpees now. But yeah, to do DVDs at home and also having the Wii Fit, right? I'd be in the Wii Fit because I didn't want to go out running. I was like too embarrassed to go out running. So I was like be in the living room on the Wii Fit, trying to do a bit of a jog around the track on there, doing the Davina DVDs and with Mark and I can't remember the name of the woman. I'm thinking, oh, I could get a body like Davina doing these. Right, whatever. So it's actually the whole point is that, when you started out in fitness and you haven't done anything before, it took me 5 years to get to that place, to get to that weight. And it wasn't going to come off by just doing some Davina DVDs and still eating the same crap and still binge eating at the weekend, having the vodka, having the crisp, the lifestyle I was living, the ready meals, the quick fixes, the meal deals. So you can't out train a bad diet, right? We hear that all the time, but still we try to do it. And that's certainly how I started off trying to out train a bad diet. So I was doing these Davina DVDs, a Wii Fit running. Husband looking at me going like, what is she even up to? If I don't think we're even married at that point. And it would get me nowhere. So I think I was psychologically a bit like, one, this feels hard, really hard. Like the state of my health, I was like, it just all feels hard. And when you're doing these DVDs on your own, you don't have any supporters, right? There's nobody to encourage you or to cheer you on. And I was doing it kind of in silence. Like my husband just knew I was doing it. I wasn't someone broadcasting, go, I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go to Wii Fit tonight. I kind of was doing it kind of undercover, if you like. So I didn't have anyone kind of cheering me on. Obviously, my husband was just like, what are you even doing? So I was trying to do these Davina DVDs, doing the Wii Fit stuff, and it just not changing anything. Nothing was happening. Did I feel fair? I didn't, because probably I was totally inconsistent with what I was doing as well. I was probably maybe doing it once or twice a week, and still eating crap all the time. So nothing was happening. So I'd say that was mistake number one, thinking I could out train a bad diet. And also that training for me was sporadic. It was kind of try and throw some shit at the wall and make it stick, rather than actually thinking about a plan. Okay, how am I going to train? How often? What does that look like? What does my training schedule look like? Where do I want to be? It was more like, oh, I think I'm quite overweight and I'm fit right now. So let's try some of these workouts and see what happens. And clearly it didn't stick. I mean, I did enjoy the workouts. I got to the point where some of them I quite enjoyed, but in terms of the results, nothing was happening, right? Because I wasn't taking care of everything else. So a random workout, thrown at the wall, see if it does anything, keep doing it for a little while, then get fed up. I mean, I can't even tell you how long I did it, but it certainly wasn't as regular as even 3 times a week, that's for sure. So that was my first mistake, doing random workouts with no plan, not adjusting my lifestyle. So therefore thinking that I could outtrain a bad diet and ultimately a bad lifestyle and get instant results. That's probably what it was as well. Thinking I could get instant results by doing 2 or 3 random workouts when I'd taken 35 years to get to where I was, and trying not to change anything else. So that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2, I wrote down here, trying to get help from nasty people. And what I mean by that, I was surrounded by quite a close team. I was going to say close team of people. Like, we worked on some intense projects, and quite a few of them were into fitness. And I remember, just kind of asking questions. One of them used to be a PT in the Middle East, and I said, "Oh, how much is a PT?" And he was like, "More than you could afford." And I had no idea what my wage or financial circumstances were. So I was like, "Oh wow, so PTs must be really expensive." So I was like, "Okay, that's not an option for me." And then there was one guy and a woman talking over the desk about calories and numbers and macros and whatever else. And I was like, is life not too short to be counting calories? And trying to, find out what it was they were doing. And the response I got back was, "Oh, well, it will be if you don't count your calories." And I was like, okay, fine. And they just kind of laughed. So I was trying to get information from people who were just quite rude and shut down. So despite the fact these were colleagues that I was working with, they weren't helpful people. They were just a bit more, these kind of braggy gym type, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I've got this, I know this," and what have you. And they just weren't open to conversations, or that somebody might actually want some help in their fitness. So I think that was another mistake, because that shut it down for me. I wasn't going to go and do a PT because I thought, wow, it must be wildly expensive. I wasn't then going to go and kind of ask these people about help about, well, what do you mean by calories? And, conversations were just shut down because I was actually asking the wrong people. And what I should have done was actually maybe go to a gym and approach them and ask them and have a conversation at a gym, opposed to colleagues who were just quite rude about it. I mean, we did get on, right? But that was still the response. So, not everyone is open to helping each other. And some people, you get this in January, February gyms where people are like, "Oh, newbies," forgetting that everybody has a starting point. And some people forget that everyone's starting out, everyone's on a different journey, and they can be a bit egocentric around that and shut down people who are looking for help, like I was at the time. So I think that was the other thing, is just making sure that when you're reaching out for help, you're going to someone who's maybe not going to be egocentric, shall we say, who you think is actually going to help you. And I'd probably just skip people you work with, to be honest with you. And even if you do get, because I got all these people, so I'd skip people you work with and go and speak to someone, well, drop into my DMs or go and speak to someone at a gym, and do it that way, then rather than speaking to people who are into fitness and doing things, because they might give you a response that kind of shuts you down and stops you doing other things. And I know we're in control of our own emotions and we can take our own actions and go, well, screw them, I'll show them. But that wasn't where I was at. So that's what happened. So that was mistake number 2. Number 3, just as I said there, giving up. Just giving up and thinking, oh, well, it's not for me then. This is how I'm going to be. So just going, okay, the Wii Fit's not working, the Davina's not working. PT is apparently super expensive, which is not. And I'm going to die deaf because I can't count calories. So there we go. I was just like, well, I don't know where to go with this. I don't know. And it was before we had Google and stuff, but you didn't really go on for information, right? You didn't search what we do now. And there wasn't a social media aspect that we have now with me, coming in to helping you guys and sharing information and learnings and stuff. Just didn't exist. So it was more like the fad diets, and I knew I didn't want to go down the Weight Watchers, Slimming World. I'd grown up seeing my mum do those things all her life and putting on more and more weight, and again not achieving any long-term results with all these fad diets. And I just knew that wasn't a route that I wanted to go down, because I could see I'm quite an observer in life. So I could see that she didn't get results. So I think I just gave up. I gave up on myself and just plowed myself into work. That's ultimately what I did. Fitness didn't happen. The weight loss didn't happen in the health side. Oh, well, I'm getting recognition for the work I'm doing all hours. So I might as well do that because that's making me feel good, versus trying this health and fitness stuff where I've been shut down. And it's not getting me any results. So I gave up. So that was mistake number 3. Then mistake number 4, okay, the final one. One size fits all. Now, what I mean by this is over the years, I purchased some kind of meal plans, or they tend to sell as meal plans. They might say, oh, here's a hormone reset program, or here's a meal plan for weight loss. And when you get it, it's generic. So it's like, here's your meals you have to have, here's the recipes, that's it. So there's nothing about what food agrees with you, what foods don't, what foods you enjoy, what you don't. And I don't eat salad. I've never eaten salad. I detest salad. I don't like it. I don't like the texture. I'm quite a textural person. And it physically makes me gag. Like if I have a salad, I'm like that, right? So I don't like salad at all. Call me weird, whatever, but that's what it is. And so a lot of these things are like a chicken salad or a salad sandwich, and I couldn't eat half the stuff that was on there, and it wasn't easy to adapt it because it's kind of like that's what it was. So I then paid money for this kind of ebook of recipes, and here's what you have to follow, but none of them actually worked for me. And I'm allergic to apple and oranges, so whenever it comes to smoothies, I've got apple and orange juice in them. So I kind of spent money on things that I just couldn't do, and so then I'd have one element of it, and then I was left to my own devices, and I didn't really know what to do, and I was kind of stuck. And I think that's my biggest learning. It's also how I work with clients on a bespoke nature, because I've learned through the way that one size doesn't fit all. What works for one person might not work for the other. Our bodies are all unique. Yes, there's similarities, but ultimately when it comes down to it, there's foods you like, don't like. There's also foods that work for your body that doesn't work for someone else. And the impact of your hormone cycle is different from one person to another. And that's where, yes, people might get results initially from one plan that fits all, but it's not going to last long because of the factors I just mentioned, but also your lifestyle. How does that fit within your lifestyle? Because if you then end up saying no to social events, you go out and eat and you're like, shit, I don't want to have, I'm just going on peace. And then you end up giving up because you're like, this is not working for me. Then just want you to know that that's not your fault. It's just you haven't found a thing that works for you. And that's why I'm passionate about bespoke, personalized, which is what I do with my clients, because I like different foods to you, your body reacts differently to me, your lifestyle is different to mine. So we need to take in all those considerations. I like to provide a holistic view, opposed to here's a meal plan, here's the generic recipes, jog on. All right, so that is the 4 mistakes I made when I was starting out on my weight loss journey. So to recap, number 1 was doing the Davina DVDs and the Wii Fit runs and thinking I could out-train a bad diet and not change anything else. Number 2 was trying to get help from nasty people. Like I said, they're not nasty per se, but they were very rude when I was trying to get help from them because they were into health and fitness, and obviously were so much better than me, and just shut me down. So yeah, think about who you're going to approach and where you can get help from, someone who's going to be open and have a conversation with you without trying to shut you down and belittle you ultimately. Number 3 was giving up. So when the doors are shut or you don't get a helpful response, or you feel like you're not getting the results, or not getting results as quickly as you think you should, despite the fact it's taking you this long to get to where you are now, giving up. Giving up is the worst thing you can do for your self-esteem, for your health, because things are going to change if you give up. Instead of giving up, look at what can you pivot, what can you change, and what's not working. So review what's not working, why not, and then look at what you can do to pivot and change to get the results you want, rather than just going, that's it, I'm going to be fat forever, I'm done with this shit. Think about how you can pivot and change and make things work for you. And then the final one was not to do one size fits all. It may get you initial results, but if it doesn't fit with your lifestyle, you're going to end up giving up. It's not food you enjoy. You're going to end up seeking other food and snacking other things because you end up throwing what you've made in the bin. And if it doesn't work for you and your allergies or foods you enjoy, it's not going to last. It's just not going to last. And that's why you've got to think about a holistic approach. It works for your lifestyle, your likes, your taste, your dislike, your body, your hormone cycle, and all that jazz. So that's the 4 mistakes I made when I was starting on fitness before I broke my leg and ankle. And I'd also give you a bonus one because I always give extra value. And a bonus one, I would say, be careful who you share with that you're on your journey. I know some people say about share your goals. But I didn't tell my family, obviously my husband knew, my family, because I knew their perspective on fitness. Their fitness, that women shouldn't have muscles. That's disgusting. Women shouldn't have muscles. And also that negativity about, people go running, they get addicted to running. I'm not a runner. But that whole view that they have around fitness and health, because it's something they're not into, so then it all be talked down and belittled and people get addicted to it and it's all negativity. So I never shared with them that I was on a fitness journey and going to the gym. I just went and done my thing. So yes, there's a bit of people say, accountability of sharing someone, but people can also sabotage you and go, come on, let's go out, afternoon tea, come on, let's do this, or bring them big bars of chocolate and all the rest of it. But it's actually, for me, it's about, You don't always have to tell people, you can show them, right? So when I started losing weight, and it was probably about a year when people started to notice, people were like, oh my God, Julie, you need to be eating more food. You need to be, I was eating plenty of food. It's just I was eating high quality food that worked for my body, and I was training well. So I was doing everything right. And it's really interesting because I actually seen one of those people, maybe about 8 months ago. Yeah, about 8 months ago. And one of the people were like, yeah, Julie, you need to eat more. And they were massively overweight. And I kind of looked and thought, well, if I stayed in that world, if I listened to them, taking on all their issues as my own, then I wouldn't be where I am in a new career, healthy, fit, happier than I've ever been in my new house. I would still be working in that role. And I kind of looked at that person in massive empathy, because obviously there's things going on there, struggles going on. And I thought that was a picture of what my life would have been like if I hadn't changed my health and fitness. So because when you change your health and fitness, you change your mindset, you change your energy, you change what's possible. You start not just dreaming, but actually living your dreams. So there's a whole host of benefits that come from weight loss, but I am now digressing. But yes, top tip is just be careful who you share it with, because if you know someone's going to belittle, take you down, be negative about you going to the gym, you're always at the gym, you never spend time with me, or whatever it is, then you don't have to tell people. Just do your thing, and just do it for you rather than having to share it with people. All right, so that's me, as the weight loss mistakes I made to start with, and a little bonus too. And if you're struggling to get started, you're not sure what, Julie, where do I go with this? I'm not sure what's working, what's not. Drop in my DMs, just ask me a question. I'm open. And if it's something else you want me to talk about in the lives or in a post or a reel, then shout out and I will make one of those for you. All right, team, take care. Have a good weekend, whatever you're up to, and I will catch you.